Medicine Without Cruelty presents The Science Behind Safety, Part 1. The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Have you ever wondered why or how safety of products that you use on a daily basis is scientifically assessed? Whether it's your cleaning products, medicines, or cosmetics. So, today we're going to dive into the realm of toxicology, and it's the science of understanding how chemicals affect people, animals, and the environment. Originally started from focusing on poisons and it moved to a broader science that focused on safety. So, what is toxicology? Now, it's the field that studies potentially harmful effects and evaluates the safety of chemicals and substances. Toxicology assesses potential risks to human health, and it's important to note here that traditionally animals have been used in testing, but this needs to change, and many countries and many companies have agreed with this and have changed. So, this is not some sort of future video that I'm saying that the future of toxicology will change. It can change right here, right now, because there are many non animal methods available. Toxicology also considers environmental impacts, ensuring that chemicals do not harm ecosystems. Now, safety testing is essential for ensuring that the products we use, whether it's medicines, cosmetics, or household cleaning, are safe for humans, animals, and the environment. And safety testing aims to identify any potential risks or harmful effects before a product reaches the public. It's really important because it can prevent accidental poisoning, chronic exposure issues from long term application of the product, or other health risks. And in toxicology, there's a well known saying the dose makes the poison. This means that nearly any substance can be harmful at a high enough dose, but safe at lower doses. For example, while water is essential, drinking too much at once, like 5 liters in one sitting, can lead to water intoxication, a serious and potentially fatal condition. If you see there on the right, there is a dose response curve which shows how increased exposure to a substance can shift from something that's absolutely harmless to toxic. And it's important to understand the difference between hazard and risk in toxicology. A hazard has the potential for harm, while risk is the likelihood of harm given real life exposure. Consider household bleach, for example. Now, bleach is a hazard because it can cause burns, but it is a low risk because if it's handled properly with gloves and ventilation, it won't cause these burns. Now, unfathomably, animal testing has been used to evaluate safety with animals that range from beagles to other dogs, mice, rabbits, rats, monkeys, birds, and they are commonly used and suffer through exposure to chemicals to assess their toxic effects on living organisms. Now, let me be clear, they were never the gold standard for safety testing. And you can go back through my videos where I explain that there are key genetic and fundamental biological differences, which means that these animals cannot predict human reactions. And we have modern new animal methods that are accurate, human relevant, and allow for reliable safety testing. Just to give you an overview of the key non animal testing methods, which I have provided examples throughout my series, but I will be, as I'm kind of moving into the realms of toxicology, I will be using more toxicity testing specific examples. So, organ on a chip technology involves microchips lined with human cells that mimic the functions of organs like the liver, lungs, or kidneys. And it's really important because it allows researchers to observe human specific cellular responses in real time and test how the substances are going to interact with human like organ systems. And I gave the example previously about how liver on a chip was used to test drug toxicity, and it has a superior predictive potential of human liver reactions. Human cell cultures and 3D organoids can mimic human tissue, offering a human based way to study toxic effects. For instance, brain organoids can help study neurotoxicity, offering insights that animals could never provide. Finally, computational models use AI or artificial intelligence and big data to simulate how a substance might be interacting with the human body. without any need for biological samples. AI models can process vast amounts of data to predict toxic effects of drug interactions, which speeds up the testing process and reduces the need for physical testing. It can predict the likelihood of a drug causing side effects by simulating interactions with various human proteins. These non animal methods provide accurate, ethical, and effective ways to assess safety, representing modern toxicology and safety standards. Just to give you an overview of how a product might go from a idea all the way to being on a shelf. So let's take the example of moisturizer. Now, step one involves initial research and formulation because we need to understand what the product's goal is going to be. Is it hydration? Is it there for anti aging? We then need to choose active ingredients, for example, hyaluronic acid. Is it peptides? What is it going to be? And whether it's going to be delivered in a cream, a gel, or a lotion. And in this phase, we need to use scientific literature and previous research to ensure the ingredients are well suited for the intended purpose. And it's quite interesting. I mean, the previous research that has been used, unfortunately, it is going to be used on animals. But as we move into modern testing standards with non animal methods, we are going to be using initial research based on effective non animal methods. And that's important because it means that we are pushing the boundaries on cosmetics or household products for us. And researchers can also investigate the potential for allergic reactions or side effects of these ingredients. The next stage is the preclinical testing. So we want to be able to assess toxicity, stability, efficacy. Now, lab based testing is generally used, and this can be done without the use of animals, such as skin cell cultures. So we can test whether ingredients will irritate skin cells or if they exhibit any harmful effects, such as cytotoxicity. And we can also see how well a product is absorbed into the skin. Now, some companies still conduct animal studies, so it's quite important that you read the label clearly whether or not this product that you've chosen has been tested on animals. But it has been widely replaced with alternative, better non-animal methods in many regions. The next stage is safety testing. So once a formula has passed this testing, it enters safety testing on human volunteers, and it can include several approaches such as patch testing or any sort of testing in a controlled environment. They will then collect information about any side effects or allergic reactions, and they might need to contact a dermatologist to confirm that the product doesn't cause any harm to the skin. Then we need to see whether it actually does its purpose. I mean, if the goal of the moisturizer was to improve skin hydration, we need to actually find out through these studies whether based on volunteers, whether it actually happens. So we will ask human volunteers to try the product for a certain period of time and take measurements. Now, toxicity testing may be needed additionally if the product contains new ingredients or chemicals that haven't been widely used. And it is important for ensuring that the product is safe for long-term use. However, again, this can be replaced by non-animal methods, as we'll see in future videos. The next stages are the safety and the regulatory assessment. So before the product can be marketed, it has to undergo a regulatory review, which varies by country. A safety toxicologist or regulatory expert will review all the testing data to ensure that the product does not pose any risks to consumer health. It might be evaluating the ingredient concentrations to ensure they fall within the safe limits, the product stability, packaging, labeling, any interactions with other products which consumers might use. So if it's something like a moisturizer that's combined with another treatment, so they might look into that. Finally, we need to have regulatory approval before it's launched in the market. So in the US, skincare products are considered cosmetics under the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, which means they don't require pre-market approval unless they make some sort of drug claim, like it's some sort of acne treatment. However, the company has to ensure it complies with good manufacturing processes. It then needs to undergo labeling approval, ingredient disclosure. If it's in the European Union, the product must comply with EU cosmetic regulations, including a cosmetic product safety report and notifying the European Commission. And once a product has passed all of that and regulatory approval, it's ready to be launched into the market. However, the testing does not stop here. There might be post market surveillance, so monitoring the product performance and monitoring for any adverse reactions. And if adverse reactions are found after the product's on the market, the company might have to recall the product, make formula adjustments, or even issue warnings. So, this entire process can take months or years to ensure that a skincare product is safe, effective, and compliant with regulatory standards. So, to conclude, toxicology is key to keeping humans, animals, and environment safe. Now, safety testing must move towards advanced non animal methods that provide accurate data and uphold ethical standards. Now, I'd like you guys to keep on watching. The next set of videos is going to be about Botox testing and how they can be easily replaced with non animal alternatives. Thank you, and please subscribe.